Sunday, Australia.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the number one podcast in 3 households now. Joining me, as always, is our work experience kid turned pro, Danny Webb, AGS, on Twitter even. Danny Webb, how are you, mate? How was your Christmas?
Oh, good, mate. It was a very, very large day, but always a good day. You know, when the beer pong table gets busted out straight after lunch, you know it's going to be a good one.
Did you have Nan on the table? Or
no, she had a crack. She had a throw, which is always good. Like, you know, you always need to bring in a celebrity throw every now and then.
You do. You got to make sure you get everyone around, and I'm sure she would have absolutely wiped the floor. Back in the 60s and 70s, she was an absolute superstar.
She was, yeah.
It's just rumours I've heard.
Yeah, she was the national champion back in the 70s. But anyway, it's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's where you boys get your skill from, I know.
Yeah, for sure.
And also joining us from his man cave now, turned back into the lab, all the way down in Torquay, TC24. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Back in the lab. Hopefully a few less technical issues this week. We'll see how we go.
We have already started off so much better than last week.
We got a little bit of positive feedback about, constructive criticism, we'll say.
Constructive, yeah. It was one of those sandwiches. Yeah, it was a good episode, boys, but, you know, you had a lot to work on.
We knew we weren't shy of the fact.
Oh,
no, we didn't hide the fact.
We weren't even ducks above water. We were just splashing left, right, and centre, just trying to get through the episode.
Yeah. And how was your Christmas, TC?
No, it was good, mate. We just had the day at home with the fam, so it was nice. Pretty cruisy one. So
yeah, beautiful.
How about you, mate?
Yeah, busy day. We also hosted, so it was a good few days beforehand, just, you know, getting shit ready. And
a lot of preparation, isn't it?
Oh, big days. And I was up late putting stuff together, so that was good fun.
Yeah, you did well with that too.
Yes. And actually, we have a fourth member joining us just for a minute. Come here, mate. He's wanted to come back on since last time. Oh, he's got his Aaron Rodgers gear on. How are you, Oddie Chase? Good. Do you remember Timmy? He was there last time, but we got a new man, Danny. He's our work experience kid. Yeah. So since the last time we spoke to you, how do you think the Packers are going? We're still low. We're a 37% chance of making the playoffs.
They're doing good.
Yeah. Did you see us beat Tua and the Dolphins on the weekend?
Okay.
Yeah, good. You were up at 5 a.m, so he was definitely watching it with us.
Good boy.
Yeah. No, good. All right, buddy. Will you get out there? You look after those dogs for me. Make sure they don't chew anything up, all right? All right, buddy.
See you, buddy.
He wanted to make sure he came back on, but yeah, good. All right, let's get into what we're going to start with, the slate of games. We had a couple of games each. Last week I threw you under the bus, Timmy. So, Danny, what are the couple of games that you looked over on the weekend?
So, obviously I'm going to start with Philly because I was really hoping for some Minshew mania. But although he did play...
Oh, I reckon he definitely
played. Yes, he did. He played incredibly well, like especially if you're going up against the Cowboys, like your division rival, and you throw 355 yards, throw for 2 touchdowns and rush for 1. It is an incredible start. I think he threw 24 of his 40 passes, but it probably wasn't enough for Prescott and Dallas. Like, their defense was pretty incredible. Minshew threw for 2 turnovers, 1 late in the 4th, which led to the go-ahead field goal from Dallas. So to come out and step into Hurts' shoes and to be able to carry the team as well as he did was incredible. But 4 turnovers, I think, Philly had throughout the game. It's just too many, especially if you're playing against a team like the Cowboys.
Yeah, with their defense, like you said, they've been elite all year, and Michael Parsons was definitely getting to Gardner throughout the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was almost too much. But yeah, for him to come out like that, I think with the way that he played, Jalen Hurts did suit up for practice. Whether he actually did anything in practice or not, I don't know yet. So he's still questionable for next week. But with them playing the Saints at home, I wouldn't be surprised if they let Minshew carry on and see what he can do against New Orleans. So that way, as long as they get the win, and if either all they have to do is win or tie, or for Dallas to lose or tie, and they've got the number 1 spot.
They've got the number 1 seed.
So it's looking more...
And they've still got next week up their sleeve too. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be too early for Hurts to come back, especially with Minshew got so much hype as well leading into this. Eagles Nation was all around him.
Yeah, no, they were always going to get around him, absolutely. And I think he actually played pretty well. Like you said, the Dallas defense is elite, so to come out and ball out like he did, and he took it late in the fourth, so you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, so that last drive that he had late in the fourth, I think they were 4th and 10 at the 19-yard line, and his pass that he threw was absolutely nowhere near the receiver. But that's more on Dallas's defense more than Minshew's offense, I think. I don't think he got sacked as well, which is quite impressive, especially when playing against Dallas.
Yeah. What was the other game you had, mate?
The next game was the Chiefs and Seahawks. The Chiefs kind of took this away relatively early. I think they were up 17-0 in the first. Sorry?
Who's Chiefs?
Sorry.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Brendan. Big shout out, Big Brendo. Brendo's Chiefs. Brendo's Chiefs. Yeah, they did. They were up 17-0 early in the first half. After that, the youthful defense of the Chiefs kind of just took it away from Geno Smith. He just didn't really have much of an answer. They couldn't even make many first downs. So after that, it was kind of like the Chiefs game just to run away with. They didn't put on a massive scoring show. They went up 24-10. Khaleesi had 6 catches for 113 yards. And
Khaleesi.
Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
Khaleesi.
I could have sworn to say Kelce.
Mother of Dragons.
Oh, God.
His
Mother
brother plays for the Philly. For the
Mother of
Eagles.
Dragons is balled out.
I can't read and talk at the same time. I feel like that's my downfall.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So the Seahawks have still not won a game at Arrowhead Stadium since 1999, which is pretty crazy.
29.
Yeah.
That's a huge.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, good. All right. I don't think you need to say much more. It was actually a really good win for the Packers. The Packers had 4 things we needed to go for us, and that was one of us. So thanks, Khaleesi and the boys. Cards, did you cast your eye over any particular games? Besides the Raiders, obviously.
Yeah, I did. We had a look at. We're focusing a bit more on teams that are obviously going to be going into the playoffs. So I had a look at the Falcons and the Ravens. Wally's Ravens, who Danny doesn't rate, I think. Or is it?
They clinched, but Danny
who
doesn't
have, who have clinched, since clinched, but Danny doesn't rate it.
They're out.
You say one thing.
Yeah.
It'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah, it was kind of a bit of a poo-poo game. The Falcons are obviously eliminated. They can't make it. They only scored 3 field goals for the game. The Falcons come away 17-9 winners. So I think that win clinched them the playoff spot. Is that right? Yeah. Huntley for Baltimore went for 115 yards, 1 touchdown. So, not a super impressive showing with obviously Lamar out. But, just a bit of a meh, nothing game. Ravens did well to clinch it. Falcons, they're nothing. They're done. They're gone. I also had a look at Maxie's Bagels up against the Patriots. Bagels come away 22-18. The Patriots come home with a pretty wet sail, Macca. You would have been impressed with how wet it was. They put on 12 points.
Not very blowy in the wind, that one.
The Bagels didn't score in the second half, so they put on all 22 in the first half, but were able to just hold firm and come away with it. Joey went 40 of 52 for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's balled out. Mac Jones still getting it done, 21-33 for 240 yards. He's had a reasonably impressive year, I think. Wouldn't you say, for stepping into obviously Tom's shoes a couple of years into that role now, he's sort of starting to find his own feet a bit. The Bagels have clinched. The Patriots are still alive. I think it's still possible. I'm not sure what their percentage chance is of making it, but they're still alive. So
yeah, we're gonna talk about who's still alive and stuff later on, so we can go across that there. But I agree with what you said. Mac Jones had a bit of a rough start to the year, got that concussion and just didn't seem right for a few weeks, but he does seem to... I reckon, I agree, he's kind of got his feet back under him, and which leading into next year is probably what they're looking into now. Realistically, even if they do sneak in, I know they got Bill as the head coach, the bloody DC, all the OC, all of the spots, but
GM.
yeah, he is the GM. But yeah, realistically, they're probably looking towards next year and getting there and getting everything right for that. But yeah, I agree. The two games that I was looking at, and it's probably got a similar flavour to last week. I was actually going to have a big hype about it and say that the Jags are actually leading the AFC South. They are the number one. They've passed the Titans with the Titans losing. So it's not sealed, but the Jags are currently in the playoffs, which, this time last year they'd won one game and fired their head coach. So
and at the start of this year, they were nowhere. And they weren't.
Yeah, that's right. No one picked them to go anywhere. And Trevor Lawrence, another game where he went 20 from 31. It was absolutely. I don't know if you actually saw the game, but it was like that sleeting snow kind of. It was real cold, real shit weather in New York. And he 20 from 31, 229, didn't throw a touchdown, but just game management, I reckon, was probably the biggest thing that came out of it. He had a coordinator that obviously had worked with wet weather games before, and he played a smart football game, which I think he's been touted since he was bloody knee high to a grasshopper that. He's the next big thing, and I think it's actually coming out this year. He had a shit year last year, but it was a tumultuous season at the Jags, as everyone who follows it would know. So, yeah, I think this is realistically his rookie year, and I can't really be more bullish than what I am for Trevor Lawrence and the Jags going forward. And they got a few, like Calvin Ridley, who played Atlanta. He's an absolute superstar, but he's been suspended for 12 months for... he gambled. He was the gambler and got done. He's at the Jags next year, so he's a star wide receiver. It's just going to give Lawrence more weapons going forward. Realistically, again, they get in. They might challenge maybe week 1, wildcard week or something like that, but I can't see him pushing too far into it. That stranger things have happened, but not putting any money on the Jags, but. They're probably good money now to actually make the playoffs, which is huge for them, I think.
Yeah, well, the Titans going on, I think it's a 5-game losing streak, definitely helps. And the rest of the division isn't very strong with the Colts and the Texans. So it was just them head-to-head with the Titans. And, yeah, they've managed
they play the Titans next week? Next week, I reckon.
This week.
So it'll be pretty much this week?
No.
They've got the Texans.
No, Texans.
They've got the Texans this week.
Yeah, then Titans week after, isn't it?
So I reckon it'll be pretty much because they'll beat the Texans. You'd imagine it'll be pretty much winner goes in, which is like to be playing meaningful games into January is huge for them. So
awesome. They got the Titans last round.
Yeah, that's grouse. Yeah. And the other one, which I'm sure you could probably pick, my boys. I got up and I watched them. I wasn't. Yeah, I was actually pretty happy with how we won. That's as good as you're going to get. No one, I don't think either of you boys gave us a chance last week, and I was still bullish. And Aaron just did Aaron things. He controlled the game. He wasn't like superstar. They were all over us early. Like they had an 84, 86-yard touchdown and then a 75-yard touchdown. They were all over us defensively wise. But then the second half, they didn't score. I think we've put up something like in the last 3 weeks, only 9 points in the second half. Like our defense after half time has been absolutely incredible. And we've given ourselves 3 weeks ago, we had a 3% chance of making the playoffs. We now have a 37% chance. And if the Browns get the job done against Washington, and we obviously beat the Vikings, we'll be odds-on favourite to actually make the playoffs, which you boys said mid-year that we were dead, but I held faith. We're still up and about, boys. We're still going. So I was a very happy man Monday. No, it was Boxing Day for us. It was great.
Yeah, 37% is a whole lot better than 3. So you're heading in the right direction. Heading in the right direction. That's all I can say.
Just like 75 is higher than 70, 37 is definitely higher than 3. But no, it was good. Like Tua, actually, I think we are talking about it. But it'll lead straight into Danny's Dr. Danny's injury report. Tua actually, it came out after the game that he's suffering concussion symptoms. Danny, what have you heard about that, Dr. Dan?
Yeah, so I think they're talking that this is going to be his third head injury so far this season. The first one, I think the person who actually evaluated him, they put him back in the game. They actually got fired for it. So
yeah, I remember.
So this one, they've just come out and just said it's just day to day. So they're saying they can't comment on it. The doctors said to them it's just day to day, and they're just going to take everything one day at a time. So it's not completely ruled out, but yeah, being his third in the season is never a good thing.
No, absolutely not. And it's well, day to day is concussion protocol. That's how they run it, really.
That's
so
actually how it's run, yeah.
yeah, that's nothing. They're not jumping out of the boxes making those kind of statements. But you're right. Technically, it's only his second because his first one was a back injury, if you recall, Timmy. So it's only technically his second. But even that, it's starting to get to the point where I'm not a big. I don't know about all that. I'm not a doctor like you, Danny, but I know there's a lot of things about having certain time off to allow the grey matter or some shit in your head to recover. I don't know, but is it getting to the point where he's starting to go, you know what? Maybe this year is a bust for us.
Yeah, well, Miami, like we're going to talk about later, are still in playoff contention if it wins the next two games.
Oh, red hot.
Yeah, so
yeah, absolutely.
Or even if they win one of the next two and then have help from surrounding teams, they'll be in as well. So I think with that, they're going to be trying. They're trying to snap a 5-year playoff drought. So I think with that in mind, he'll be pushing to try and play. I think, but yeah, it's obviously always going to come down to the doctors.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. That they will be all eyes will be on Miami after what happened earlier in the season. I think Timmy, you were all over it earlier in the year. Can you They can't really get around it. Is what I'm trying to get at. If he's out, he's out. I can't see him playing him if he's got any kind of concussion symptoms.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. What are we? 2 games to go. There's still a chance for playoffs. Do they need to win out?
Yeah, I was just saying.
Not necessarily. I think they can win one and then have her help. But they've got Teddy Bridgewater as their backup, who's
that's right.
MVP favourite at one point for years ago.
He's in line to start this week. I think. I don't know. It's just there's so many eyes on it that, and McDaniel.
Yeah, one of McDaniels.
I was going to say, there's another McDaniel, but he keeps coming out and saying that player welfare is still, first and foremost, which didn't appear to be the case earlier in the year.
Shut up, mate. Get back in there. Get in there.
Outside looking in. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But there's so many eyes on it. They can't rush him back. And for the good of his, quality of life later in life.
Afterwards, absolutely.
They absolutely shouldn't be rushing him back if there's any question.
Yeah, we will be part of the eyes that are on that one, I reckon. But the other big story, which comes of today's game, actually. So Derrick Henry, I think he's officially out of today's game. I don't want to jump too early, but I can't jump too early. It's only an hour before the game, but I think he's officially out. And there's also 4 other starting defensive linemen that are out. Carts, you were all over this one.
All over it is
a
loose term, but up against the Cowboys, and obviously the Titans sort of playing off for that divisional spot, to take out the division. I think the word was that because they can lose today and then still win out next week against the Jags, then they're a chance to make it. So the idea was have them rest this week because they're a bit. Maybe 50-50, not all of them. They probably could have played if they needed to, and then with looking forward to the following week, and then coming out putting
pressure up against the Jags.
Yeah, I think that was sort of the theory behind a lot of the restings this week.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a gamble, but interesting to see. Have to see if it'll pay off for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously we're expecting the Jags to win this week against the Texans.
Yeah.
And then it'll like we said, it'll come down to head week 18. And looking to have the fresh list. So I don't know if Henry was part of that crop. He'll be back for the last week.
He was only doubtful for this week. So
that's right. So I'm assuming I'm assuming that it's just get him right for week 18.
Yeah.
And we'll come out with a bang.
We do have some actual breaking news that Tony Pollard, the backup running back not the backup, the second running back for the Cowboys is out of today's game. I don't know who's coming in, but I imagine that means more touches for Zeke if you are punting or for your gambling purposes.
That information could have been handy 10 minutes ago.
Earlier. Yes.
That's okay.
I imagine they'll bring somebody else in. So Sean Harrison will be shitty at me because I can't think of who their third string is. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
Let's move on. Thank you, Dr. Danny, for your report. They are the biggest. It was a pretty clean slate, relatively clean slate anyway, as far as injuries this week. So that's good. That's what we want going forward. But some huge news that came out a couple of days ago, and it was all over Instagram or Twitter, whichever one he uses. It was the big JJ Watt. He kind of secretly... It was Twitter?
Yeah, it was
Twitter. It was a tweet, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of... He just secretly snuck it in there. It was pretty obvious when you read it, but just said that it was his son's first home game and his last home game. So he's retiring, which is huge news out of the JJ Watt camp.
Yeah, just not a lot of fanfare, just sort of... And I think he even said himself he sort of wasn't... He knew he was going to retire, but like until he hit the button to send the tweet, he was like just a bit up in the air how he was going to announce and all that sort of stuff. But he just felt good about it. Like I think once he saw the photo of him with his family, because he wants to spend a lot more time with his family. He's had 12 seasons in the NFL. He's been an absolute star. I think he's like 5-time Pro Bowler or something like that.
Oh, huge!
I think he's been Defensive Player of the Year a couple of times or something like that. So. He's had an awesome career. What is he in line to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? All that sort of stuff.
Comfortably. I don't know if you boys got to see him in his Houston Texan times, but he was.
I remember him from back then. Yeah,
he was Houston at one point. Like
he was a beast. He carried the team on his shoulders essentially.
Oh, it was the one. They were kind of on the rise. Young Deshaun Watson was just coming in pre, touchy feely, but. It was JJ everything. Like, he was on the defense. He was scoring touchdowns on the offense.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He played both sides of the ball.
Oh, it was incredible to watch him. And when I really kind of started to learn about him and gain a lot of respect for him was I reckon Houston was, what's the Hard Knocks they did with Houston? And they showed JJ Watt. It was at the end of practice, 800 degrees in the sun.
Yeah,
and he'd been outside.
It
was like
Celsius.
Celsius. That one. Celsius. But he was outside. It was like 2.5 hours after training, signing every single person that was there. It was so good to watch that he was a man of the people, and like he said, he didn't want the fanfare, but he knew that without the people, he's nothing really. Like. But he is.
He raised $40 million when there was a cyclone or
Ian. Was it Hurricane Ian?
I can't remember what it was called.
The one that was not long ago.
Devastated Houston raised over $40 million.
$40 million by himself,
like a GoFundMe or something like that. So definitely one of the good guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, and he's one. It'll be sad to lose him because even the last 4 games, he's still. I watched last week. He was 3 or 4 tackles for loss, which was a record for himself at halftime, and he was an absolute beast. So he's going out on a high, which good on him for being able to do that.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he's only another half a sack away from a double-digit half sack here again.
Ooh,
they've got 2 games to get it.
Yeah, I think he was saying as well. Like he's 33. Still young, his body's still in a good condition, so it's a good way to be going out and still like being able to continue on. I think he really wants to be a dad. His child, like he said, it's only 2 months old, and he said after he announced his retirement, he's like, I haven't checked my phone yet, but he's like, I'm sure I've got a message from ESPN asking me to be an analyst. So I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's really gonna be stepping too far away from the game.
Yeah, he'll still have his fingers in there somehow.
Yeah, for sure.
All of the pies. Blah 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 blah. All right, the next story is a little bit too close to home. It is yours, TC24. Derek Carr, what the fuck is going on? He's been benched. Is it Jared Stidham? Jarrett Stidham.
I don't even know
Jarrett Stidham. I have heard of him before, but I reckon it was as a third or fourth stringer, not a starting QB.
I think we picked him up from the Pats.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep.
Was he one of Tom Brady's behind?
Off-season trade with New England.
Know. But interesting call. Like 2 weeks left. Obviously, I think it's still possible for the Raiders to make the playoffs.
Mathematically.
Not very likely. Not very likely.
Well, from your sources, mate, what's going on? Is he shit the bed? Is he not happy? Like, do they not like him, or what's going on?
They want to have a look at this Stidham or whatever the fuck his name is. They want to
learn it, mate. He's your QB of the future.
have a look at him, but they obviously they would have had the chat with Carr and said, look, we're gonna bench you. You're not going to start for the last 2 games, and they've agreed that he's going to be away from the facility, so it's not to cause any tension or
distraction, or
anything like that. It's leaving the door open a little bit for the Raiders with options if they want to cut him, because I think he signed a 3-year extension in the off season with, I think he's got 30 or 40 odd guaranteed of his 120 mil contract. So I think there was an injury clause or something in there for guaranteed. So I don't know if they cut him even he's not injured, like if he gets that money or what the go is there.
I'd imagine you have to. If he gets traded though, that'll be their way out. He'll be going and he'll be away from your facility, but I reckon he'll be checking out others.
Well, and that's the thing. And Devontae came out pretty strongly in support of Carr, saying, I wouldn't have come here if it wasn't for him because they are such good mates. They were college teammates.
Yeah, my boy.
So he came out and he said, look, I feel the way I feel about it, but it is what it is. But saying that, I wouldn't have come here if it wasn't for Carr and all that sort of stuff. So he's come out in pretty strong support of him. So I don't know. If they move Carr on, they're very likely they're going to lose Devontae too. You got to be pretty careful, I think.
Wonder where he could go.
No, he wouldn't go back.
Come back to the pack, baby. He'll take a slight pay cut, but he'll come back.
Interesting call with 2 weeks left. Saying that they want to have a look at this. Is it Stidham or Stidham?
Stidham.
Saying they want to have a look at the young guy.
Stidham.
Give him a chance. He's been on, I think, in 3 games this year. He's had, I can't remember his numbers. It was like 7 of 12 completions, or something like that. Not much.
Above 50%.
He's played a little bit. Obviously, this is going to be his first start in his career. So good. Honestly, good luck to him.
Hey, good luck to him. It's not his fault. He's just
no. And you got to take those opportunities when they pop up. But just an interesting call from the Raiders.
Imagine he comes out, balls out, you make the playoffs.
Well, yeah.
I think you need a few other teams. I think you need a few other teams to fall on their own sword as well for that to happen.
Yeah, they're part of. I got a message from Maxi Ramping last night. There's a group of about 6 or 7 teams that can be eliminated this week, and we were both part of that.
Is he still invested? Oh, good on him.
Yeah, he is. Well, he was pretty strong about, how about those bagels, mate?
It's come from there. That's not bad.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Yes. Yeah. The next story. So good luck to Jared Stidham and all the best for him. But
go get him,
boy. Yep. The next one, another former Green Bay man, the offensive coordinator, head coach, turned fired head coach, adding to that $800 million that we were talking about being paid to coaches that are no longer coaches. Nathaniel Hackett has been benched by the Denver Broncos, and Russell Wilson has come out and said that he wished he played better for Nathaniel Hackett. You don't fucking say, mate. It's a bit late to be saying that now.
Really?
What's coming off his almost worst career season, career low in touchdown passes, career high in sacks. So, if you're going to come out and play for a new head coach and you're playing like that, if they're not moving on, they're not going to move on from you. Because what is he, a 5-year, $245 million contract? They're not moving on from him.
Guaranteed. That's guaranteed money too, wasn't it?
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, so
most of it, not all of it.
Like you said, Danny, he's sitting on 14 touchdown passes this year. His previous low was 20 in a season, so there's no chance he's making that. Yeah. He's absolutely shit the bed this year, Russell.
But just to come out and be like, I wish I played better for him.
Should have done it for him.
Fucking serious? Pull your head out your ass, mate. I reckon he has lost a lot of friends in just the NFL community this year, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. But also, Hackett, who did get fired, he's the shortest 10-year coach for the franchise, like in franchise history as well. So not only did he get coach fired, he got the coach fired in record time.
Yeah. Yes. One for the boys.
The CEO Penner and CEO and owner come out and he said it's not a Russell Wilson decision firing Hackett. So, well, pretty much it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're saying, "Oh, yeah, Russell's fixable. It's okay."
Yeah, that's it. It wasn't his fault, but Russell's fixable. Like,
Yeah, it's okay.
all right, so it was his fault then.
So wait a minute. Yeah.
You can't fucking 1 + 1 is 2. All right, that's how I've always worked it. But yeah, so it'll be interesting. Maybe next week we can look into a few head coaches that might be in line. I don't know who the coach that is taking over. I believe it was the guy who they brought in just for. Remember round 1 against the Seahawks, how they had that drama with the time clock. So they brought in a bloke to be, you're going to be just the time clock manager. So he's the one that is now he's taking over. He's gone from managing game clock to head coach.
Jerry Rosberg.
Oh, I thought it was Jared Stidham as well.
Good, Danny. I was just scrambling to find a name.
Yeah, Jerry Rosberg is the interim head coach.
Someone.
And he said that even though they're clearly out, he still plans on starting everyone. So we'll see if Wilson plays any better.
We'll see if it is a Russell Wilson problem or not.
Everyone's still in line to start, including Russell. They had to say, including Russell.
Yeah, it should be obvious. I don't know. I think that's real shit form by him, obviously. So yeah,
but just
sorry, go on.
No, it's like I know I'm capable of excellence and like that. It's like fucking give us a spell, mate.
It just leads back to so much about Seattle kind of played this so well to get him out.
I don't know.
Almost on good terms. Like it was obvious that they weren't happy with each other, but they kind of left and yeah, that was it. They just said, "Look, it's just not working. We'll move on. We'll get what we could," and they did. And mate, they have absolutely won that breakup.
Won this trade for sure.
Oh, huge! And I think I was going to put in about the current lineup for the draft day. I reckon they're 3rd or 4th because of that trade.
I think it's going to be pick 3.
Oh, that's huge! And they're still looking. They're just going to add weapons and well done, Seattle. You won that one.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So I've got up on my screen the current NFL playoff standings. I don't know if you boys have got it, but we can talk through just quickly the AFC. So AFC, there's 5 of the 7 spots have been locked in. Not everyone. So the Jags, the Bagels, and the Ravens can still swap, but they're both locked in. But everyone else, the Bills, the Chiefs. The Bills and the Chiefs have locked in. I'm just making sure. We're all over this. Bills and Chiefs have locked in the division. Cincinnati have locked in playoffs. Ravens have locked in playoffs, and the Chargers have locked in a wild card. So they're in there, but they can't go any higher than what they are.
The Ravens, who would have thought it?
Currently, Jacksonville. They are so shit, but they're still 10-5. But interesting, if Lamar comes back either this week or next week, I don't know how much I'd trust Lamar off a 2 or 3 game break. What did he go out with? Was it ribs or something like that? Hamstring? One of the. He went off with an injury anyway. But to come back, you'd almost want him to come back either this week or next week, leading into the playoffs, wouldn't you?
I think he'll be back next week.
You want him to at least get one.
We haven't heard that he's back this week.
You want to at least get him 1 game rep before you head into the playoffs, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking next week.
Yeah. So like we said, Miami is still currently in the 7th position at 8-7, but they've got the Pats right behind them, 7-8. The Jets right behind them at 7-8. The Tennessee Titans are at 7-8. The Pittsburgh Steelers, surprisingly enough, are still a chance of getting that above 500 for the 18th or 19th season in a row, I reckon. And your Raiders are still technically a chance at 6-9, so they'd have to win out, I'd imagine.
Win out and all those other teams lose.
Yeah. So there's a chance, but I don't like your odds.
You're saying there's a chance.
So out of those teams, boys, the Jags, I think, will... I reckon if they win this week, they're pretty much in. I reckon. But out of those other teams, can you see Patriots, Jets... maybe the Steelers taking over the Dolphins. Any of those three?
How many can we have from each division?
7.
7.
Division doesn't matter. You can have so there's
Ah,
four.
sorry, each conference.
No, yeah, you're right.
So there's 7 overall, but you can have as many as you want from each
Each what?
division.
Yeah, no, I mean conference. Sorry, so there's just 7.
So 7, yeah. There's the top 4 and then the next best 3.
Yeah, cool.
So 5 of the 7 have already taken. It's only the
Take over the
Jags
Dolphins. I mean,
and the Dolphins.
Oh, maybe the.
The Pats are in the best spot, 7 and 8.
Yeah, the Patriots definitely the best spot, but it's hard to see anyone else really. I don't think so.
You can't see. Can you see the Jets getting? They need to win the next 2, I'd imagine.
Yep.
So a lot of those teams, they could almost be set this week. I think the Jags, they can still be kicked out with Tennessee. They'll play Tennessee in the last week. Unless Tennessee lose this week and the Jags win, then they put a game difference on them.
Yeah, because this week, so much is riding on this week. Like a lot of these games are incredibly important to see where everyone else is actually going to finish. So if we're having this conversation next week, it's going to be completely different. It's going to be like, oh, this is locked, this is locked. And it's just going to be like a bit more of a done deal. But at the moment, yeah, it is quite wide open. But I can't, personally, I reckon Miami's going to still pull away and take that last wildcard spot.
Yeah. The Dolphins get a win this week. They're in. So,
Well, and they are playing the Patriots this week, so
okay, so that really makes it interesting. Then.
that will definitely.
So realistically, we want the Pats to win to make it an interesting last game.
Yeah, true. Because then who've the Jets got? Let's see.
The last round, no matter what, the last round is going to have at least one game. We reckon that it's going to.
Jets have got the
That
Seahawks.
means something.
Jets have got the Seahawks away. Interesting.
Interesting. The NFC is just as interesting. So there was a stat: the AFC and the NFC South, both of them together, do not have one team that is above 500. The best is 7 and 8, which is
Tampa.
shit. Well, Tampa.
Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's 6 and 9 for the Panthers and the Saints as well. So there is 4 of these 7 locked away. With the Eagles, like you said, they can lock away the number 1 spot this week. The Vikings have got the NFC North. The 49ers have locked away NFC West. And the Cowboys have locked in a wildcard spot. The South is still up for grabs. And then the Giants and the Commanders are currently sitting in the 6 and the 7 spot. But they've got the Seahawks, the Lions, and my Packers biting on their heels. If Washington loses, they're pretty much out. And the Panthers and the Saints can only make it if they beat the Bucks. So I wouldn't worry about the Panthers and the Saints because they're battling with the Bucks. But can you see the Seahawks, the Lions, or my boys actually taking either the Giants or the Commanders spot?
Just quickly back on the Bucks and Panthers. I'm pretty sure they're playing each other next week, so that'll be
they play this
week. Sorry, yeah. So that'll be the deciding factor in that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they'll go equal. If, say, the Panthers win, they'll be equal 7 and 9 apiece.
Yeah.
And if the Saints beat your Eagles, it could be a 3-way tie.
Yeah, because the Cowboys aren't wild card. They've clinched playoff, but they can still take out the division if they win out and the Eagles lose.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're not wild card, but they've clinched playoffs.
Yeah, correct. Sorry, apologise.
That's okay, mate.
And it'll be good, actually, because I think the Cowboys play the Commanders in the last game. So if they do win out, that plays good for us because realistically, the Commanders should beat the Browns this week, which is no good for the Pack. But, yeah. Can you see the Seahawks, the Lions, or the Packers sneaking in?
I wouldn't mind seeing the Seahawks and the Lions sneak in. Giants and the Commanders drop out. Sorry, mate, you're done.
Yeah.
With the way...
Nah, they're two feel-good stories, I reckon.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
For me.
Didn't you just say last week that the Packers are the most winning team in NFL history or something along those lines? Give someone else a go.
We're not the most winning Super Bowl team of all time. We're just the most winningest team.
I really like the Lions story. They've surprised a lot of people this season. So it'd be really good to see Detroit like actually get up there and make it into the playoffs. But that's more of a personal thing than a personal hopeful thing rather than what actually probably is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact. I know, like I said, the Packers are 37%. Well, we're actually out of those three. Even though we are like the third out of those three currently, we're the most percentage chance to actually make it. So I don't know. Maybe it's our strength of schedule left. I know we play the Vikings.
Yeah, that must be factored into it.
Yeah, we play the Vikings and the Lions. So it could be, depending on how things go, it could be Lions, Packers, winner goes in at Lambeau last week, which would be huge.
So you're saying you got the Lions and the Vikings. So you're telling me you can finish 7-10?
You're. we could also finish 9-8, which would be 5 in a row. When we were 3-8, everyone said the Packers are gone, or 4-8. But we're still there, baby. So,
in all fairness, momentum is a little bit in your favour with how you started. So
yeah,
it's going to be.
And the Vikings, I've said the whole year they have won the most, which you could turn it either way, I guess. They've had the most one score wins. Every week I see a ladder. If the one score wins were the opposite, they'd actually be last in the league. But you can say they get the job done when they need to. But yeah, there might just be a couple of chinks in their armour that hopefully we can bring out this week.
You've been saying this all year. You've been saying this all year.
I know. I really see them going out first week. Whoever they play, they'll go out first week of the playoffs.
Huge call.
Huge.
Put some money on it.
Huge call. And they can still actually. There's a chance they don't, because if the Eagles lose, they could take the number one spot. There's a chance they get a week off in the first week, but then they don't lose first week. But I don't see the Vikings. I know this is a little bit of a Green Bay coming out of me. I reckon they're too reliant on Jefferson. If we can shut him out of the game, then a lot of things will be different. And he is a superstar. I'm happy to admit Justin Jefferson is an absolute freak. But yeah. Yes. All right. Let's move on to which we have kind of spoken a couple of things that we're going to bring up. But
it's time for questions without notice.
The questions, like I said, we've kind of gone across them. We won't spend too long on them, but where are we? The first one, a man we haven't spoken about in a couple of weeks. Who wants to take the first? Actually, the second question's for you, Cardi. So,
I'll take
Danny,
the first one
question. You can start. You can start the first. You can both talk about it, but you can start the first question. A man we haven't spoken about in a few weeks. Odell Beckham. Is it too late to sign him? Would it be actually more harm than good for anyone who's going to, possibly bring him in? We haven't actually. He's gone off the radar the last few weeks. What do you reckon? Do you think bring him in, or is it too late?
If you're one of these teams that are 7-8 and you're like clawing and getting your way back in, and you've got a niggling injury of a player that could potentially play, or you can put him in. I don't know. I personally think it's probably a bit too late. There's too much pressure on the line with these last few games. It's like, especially if you're trying to claw your way in. I don't know. I wouldn't be trying to break up any continuity of the team. I'd be saying not to sign him.
Yep, fair enough. That's the answer I wanted. Carts, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree with Danny Boy. I think it's a bit too late to try and get in, learn a system, even just create relationships in a team. Like, yeah, we know what he's capable of, but yeah, it just feels a little bit too late for mine. And I think we don't even know if he's fully 100% healthy yet. So
I think he's been given the all clear. That was a couple of weeks ago, but he did come out and say it was one of those things where I don't actually know if it was true or not. It was, an unreliable source to say that he was even starting to say, it might be a bit too late. He come out and said something like, I don't play regular season games. Like,
yeah.
I know you...
Lines of, I don't see the point in playing regular season games if I can just go to a team that's a contender and just win rings, essentially.
I reckon I can find a few reasons why playing regular season games are pretty important. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm in agreement, boys, that I think it's too late for him to make a playoff charge. But, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a waste. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't feeling 100% in the knee, or
maybe the teams that he was going to, their own personal medical doctors looked at him, said, "Nah, you're not going to be fit enough.
You're not quite
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
But
true.
yeah, just a name that's gone off the radar the last few weeks heading into, which I was expecting him to be,
Well, it was-
the number one name.
It was
really.
such big news 2-3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and he had a list of teams he was potentially going to, and the list kept on
Yeah.
growing every week. The list got bigger with new teams being added
Yeah.
to it, and now he's
Well,
complete.
the Cowboys were the biggest.
Yeah,
But they went out and got T.Y. Hilton, who, mate, he made an impact on the weekend. I know you saw the game,
Yeah.
Danny. He was huge in a couple of big
Absolutely.
catches. He's another guy that is an absolute superstar that's going to make a difference going forward.
yeah. So I'm guessing maybe Dallas just made the decision on that, what they needed more. But yeah, so I reckon it's far too late. If he was going to get signed, he would have been signed already.
Yeah, fair enough. Second question for you to start with, Cardi. We kind of touched on it, but I want you to go a little bit more in depth. What does Devontae do now that Carr looks to be pretty much out the door?
Yeah. All right. So we'll play it that he's gone, that Carr's gone.
Or can you see him coming back? All right, we'll start that way.
I think so. I think.
Please come
Yeah,
back.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's definitely not a done deal that he's gone. But say he does go, it's a tricky one for Devontae. Like, it almost like.
He could do the same thing that Odell's doing at the moment.
Well, or you just couldn't blame him if he just followed Carr. Like, his reason for leaving and wanting to come to the Raiders was to play with Carr,
Yeah.
and they've gone and benched him and then potentially going to cut him. Like,
So who's someone that
really?
needs a QB at the moment that could be like, you know what, we'll throw you a first rounder for Carr and we'll just pay Devontae a shitload of money. You get a QB and a number one, number two wide receiver. That could be huge.
Where you say
what are the
package him up.
49ers going to do next year?
Yeah, I if I was another team that needed a QB, he's a good QB. He's throwing, I think, 4,000 yards each of his first 5 or 6 seasons, whatever 9 seasons now, I think he's been playing. So, yeah, I'd be going, you know what, I'll give you a first rounder this year, first rounder next year for 2 players that are, you'd have to be a bucketload of cash, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, there'd be a bit of money involved.
Yeah, but could be a play.
Could be a little joint trade.
Well, 49ers, do you reckon they're adding another QB into the 4 that they've got already?
Jimmy's got to go if that's the case, and then
Jimmy at the Raiders, maybe.
Trey would be out for most of the year, would he? Or would he be back early next year?
Well, it depends how he comes back from it, I guess.
So like
True.
Brock's,
It was round? It was only round 2 or 3, so he could be back early.
But I'm not sure who else needs one.
Brock's,
but yeah, potentially.
Brock's stood up. Like, he's come out and played incredibly well for the 49ers. So, like,
Brock Purdy.
yeah.
And someone else, he might be on someone else's radar that needs a QB.
Yeah.
Like I said.
I'll throw some teams at you. Falcons.
Yeah, okay.
I can't see the Broncos moving on
No.
from Colts.
Yeah, Colts.
I reckon they could be a huge chance. Like,
Actually, they could be a huge chance.
they've got Matty Ryan locked in, but I reckon you could convince him to walk away. Nah, you could convince him to walk away.
Colts
Could you see the Saints? Maybe they could.
Colts could definitely have. Yeah,
Colts.
sorry. I didn't know if you were going to carry on or not. I was like, if you are, I'm just going to stay quiet. No, Colts definitely could do with a huge blow up. Like, obviously going to sign a different head coach,
Yeah.
move on from a different quarterback, and just almost start again. They definitely need a big refresh button. So I could definitely see it happening with the Colts.
Yeah.
Texans. They could be in the ring for a new.
We're just going to go through every team here.
I'm just looking at teams at the moment that are.
I think we're settled on the Colts.
Yeah, he's gone to the Colts.
I reckon. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
1 for 1.
Nice. Breaking news. Breaking news out of the Any Given Sunday lab that the Colts have just signed Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. Nice. Huge.
If they go,
That would put them as almost Super Bowl favourites next year.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. All right. I know, Danny, you are running slightly light on time, so let's get into this week's slate of games and absolutely power through them. Cards, go.
We're going to rip through them. No fucking around, boys. All right, today's game, Cowboys-Titans. The Cowboys are 13.5-point favourites.
I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'll take the Cowboys as well.
Nice.
Next up, Panthers and the Bucks. The Bucks are 3.5 point favourites.
I'm actually going to take the Panthers.
Oh, I'm taking the Bucks.
Okay. I'll take the Bucks.
I want to see
The-
a tight finish to the year. Sorry, go.
The Browns at the Commanders. Commanders are 1.5 point favourites.
Packers hat on. I'll take the Browns.
Well, Commanders for me then.
Yeah, I'll take the Commanders.
Fuck you.
The Saints are at the Saints are at the Eagles. Eagles 6.5 point favourites.
Bird.
Go the Saints.
Birds.
Give us the Birds. The Cardinals are at the Falcons. Falcons 3.5 point favourites. This is be a fucking
Whoa.
blockbuster. This.
Falcons favourites. Yeah. I'm going to take the Birds.
Yeah, give me the Cards.
The Falcons.
You want the Falcons?
I'm glad you got that joke, Cards. Thanks.
I'm writing here. I'm trying to multitask.
Oh,
And all
nice.
three for the
We're
Falcons.
fucking getting through them too. How good is this?
All three for the Falcons. The Jags are at the Texans. The Jags are 3.5 point favourites.
Yep. Keep going on the Jags train, I reckon.
I'm on board.
Only
Yep.
3.5. That's small.
Yeah,
I
that's
would've
right on. Give me
Yeah.
them Jags.
Them Jags.
Yep.
Hey, good. Do you keep it
Yeah,
up,
I'm
Danny?
there.
Good. We've got the Bears. The Bears at the Lions. The Lions are 5.5 point favies.
At home, the Lions will keep their playoff chances alive just to lose to the Packers in the last game.
I'm on board with the Lions as well. Big
you got, Danny?
big faith in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll take the Lions, please.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are at the Patriots. Patriots 2.5 point favies.
Ooh.
Both playing to keep their playoff chances alive here.
Yeah, this actually could be a huge game. I reckon the Dolphins will get the job done.
Yeah, I mentioned before. I reckon the Dolphins are going to do this
Interesting.
as well.
Think.
I'm going to take the Pats at -2.5, please.
Yes, sir.
The Broncos are at Brendo's Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out, Brendo. Love you.
Don't even say the line. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. 18.5, is it?
It's only 12.5.
Oh,
It's light on.
so Chiefs for 3, shall I?
The only thing that worries me is the Chiefs. The Chiefs are, they've secured. They might be taking the foot off the pedal a little bit, but I still think they're way too fucking good for
They're
the
using these
Broncos.
2 games to prime. They're priming
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, you still want to come in winning.
Yeah, fair call. You do.
Exactly. And you want to
Yeah.
come in form.
Yeah.
All right, we've got the Colts at the Giants. The Giants are 5.5 point favourites. Colts
I'm gonna
eliminated the Giants playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, the Colts, they're going for their second new coach bounce. So I'm going to go the Colts.
Give me the Giants.
Yep, Danny.
Giants. Giants.
Yeah, I'll take the Giants, please.
The Colts are nowhere.
The Jets are at the Seahawks. Jets are 1.5 point favourites.
Who are the favourites? Sorry, Seahawks.
Jets are at the Seahawks.
Jets are favourites. Nah, Seahawks playing for the playoffs.
So the Jets, no.
Yeah, agree. I'll take the Seahawks.
Oh, give me the Jets.
The Jets.
So the
are.
Jets. Nice.
Mike
Good
White.
swerve.
Mike
I'll take
White.
the Hawks, please.
Yes, sir.
We have got the 49ers are at the Raiders.
49ers.
The Raiders are 9.5 point not favourites.
with their what?
We're back to
with
that,
their
are we?
with their 6-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Devontae will have 120. Hey, actually, saying that, do you know how many yards Derrick Henry had last week?
Good quarterback bounce. How many?
126. I don't know if you want to review the tape. I said Derrick Henry 120 plus. Just saying.
You meant to bring that up ages ago, not during the next slate.
I know. I only just remembered now. So anyway, Niners
What has that got to do with this?
will cruise. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, Devontae 120 plus. Go for it.
Okay. Danny?
49ers, yeah. Cards?
I think the Raiders will cover.
Ooh.
What a boy. Believe.
Yeah, I believe, maybe. The Vikings are going to take on the Packers. Packers are 3.5 point favourites.
Nice. Yep. I don't think I need to answer.
Yep, Danny.
Give us the Vikings anytime we can bet against T-Mac.
Yeah, give me the Vikings too, Danny boy.
Fucking oath. The last time you went against us, we got the job done. Our boy, Alan Lazard, I don't know if you saw, he laid out 3 guys in one block. Did you see that?
I did see that.
How fucking good is that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
What have we got? We got the Rams at the Steelers, the LA Bowl. Rams at the Chargers, sorry. What did I say Steelers? Rams at the Chargers. The Chargers are 6.5 point babies.
Yeah, Faf's Chargers are going to get the job done. And I just want to shout out to Faf. He came in absolutely red hot on the Any Given Sunday Instagram, giving the Raiders absolute shit. He was coming in hot saying how bad their choke was the other day.
Comments
so
or
you know.
comment
He
section?
sent videos. He sent videos of pretty much I think Derek Carr was crying.
Oh,
Yeah, hilarious
what, in the
stuff.
DMs?
In the DMs, yeah.
Oh, do it
He
in the
was-
comment section, you hero.
There was a lot of that. I loved it. It was so good. But yeah, so
Do it in the comments so we can get a little bit going back and forth.
I'm sure you'll hear this.
He'll take that on board.
Yeah,
We've got the Steelers at the Ravens. The Ravens are 2.5 point favourites.
we're all taking the Chargers, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, all Chargers.
I was taking the stinky
Yeah.
Rams.
This game has actually been flexed. So this was an early game. It's been flexed to be the late game on Sunday. So big game.
I like that.
Prime time, yeah. If Lamar's back, I'm going the Ravens.
Well, what
No,
have you
what's
got
the line, actually? Sorry.
there? 2.5.
Steelers.
Ooh.
It's always a tie one.
Yeah.
I'm
Danny?
not going to lie, I got a phone call. I dropped out of all of that.
Correct. Steelers or Ravens,
Yep,
mate?
Steelers.
Come on. Nice. That phone
I
call
would say
was, where
Steelers
are
too.
you? We're having brunch.
And our last game, the Bills and the Maxie's Bagels. The Bills are 0.5 favourites.
Yeah, it's a pick'em game.
'em.
I'm going in Ohio, the Bagels.
Oh, I'm going to go the Bills. Got to swerve.
Nice. This should be a grouse game.
I'm going to go the Bills too, I think.
Nice. Good work. We do have a multi that we can talk about, but Danny, you do have a plane to catch in Dubai, I believe. So
Something along those lines. Just quickly, though, on our last week slate of games, the score went TC 2-4 and third with 6. Danwa stepped it up from last week. 2 more. I'm on 7. And we don't really need to read out T-Mac's score. It's just not really important. You got...
what did I get? What did I get?
I feel like it's an unfair advantage.
Whoa!
Damn.
How is it unfair? You know just as much as I do.
I'm not wearing a t-shirt that says Danwa Studios. I don't know
I can probably get one of those made up if you like.
uh,
Nice. All right, Danny, you go and catch your
All
plane,
right,
mate.
cheers,
Good
boys.
luck. Good luck tonight. Just for those who know, good luck tonight. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And we'll see you
See you
next
then.
week.
See you, buddy.
All right, Carts. Do you have this week's bet ready to go, or do we have to remember it? Yeah,
No, let me just bring it up.
So
So
it is on today's game. Yeah,
On today's game, obviously. So you're going to have to get this episode out quick, smart.
it will be very quick, smart.
Everyone can jump on it. So we've just got a 3-leg same game multi. We've gone the
Hang
Cowboys.
on, actually, I'll take myself off. Let's put this live on YouTube.
Ooh.
This is unprecedented times. I've lost my thing. Oh, they won't be able to hear. There's actually no point in me doing this.
What are you trying to do?
You idiot.
What are you trying to do?
I was going to do it live while you were saying it on the Instagram. Maybe if I... Nah, bugger it. I'll just... I'll be back. There we go. I'm back. I'll just put it straight out.
Just do it straight after you. How about
Yeah,
that?
I'll send it. I'll put it straight on there.
Okay. So we're doing 3-leg same game multi.
Yep.
We've gone the Cowboys at the line, so 13.5 to cover the line there.
Ooh.
Big Dalton Schultz, the tight end, to anytime touchdown, and Gallup to have over 32.5 receiving yards. So just the 3 legs there. That's got us boosted $9.80 on Sportsbet.
Nice.
Hey.
Good work by you.
Jump on
Welcome
board.
back to the winning circle, Cartier. I love that.
It's going to feel good. It's going to feel
Oh,
good.
yeah.
We're due.
Good. We are. We are. We have had one legs. Last week was only a few yards again. Like, we are the ultimate one leg club.
So close.
We are good. We are good. All right, mate. Any games you're particularly looking forward to this week? Just to pat a little bit at the end.
A little bit padding. Obviously, the Dolphins Patriots one, like just for what it means, going to be a bit of a cracker. The Jets and the Seahawks, just like I've said all year, got a bit of a soft spot for the Seahawks, so I'll probably keep my eye on those two. I'd say.
Yeah, nice. I reckon the Bills and the Bengals just leading into that's playoff football already. That's huge.
Yeah, that'll be a quality game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then obviously to see if my boys can get the job done, that'll be I'll be watching. So
goes without saying, doesn't it? What
It
time
does.
was that game? Where was that?
I think an 8:25 game on Monday.
That's very friendly on Monday.
Yeah, beautiful. It's better than a 5 a.m. Boxing Day game. I can tell you that much.
Come straight off night shift, ease into that game, mate. You
Are we?
beauty. No, we come off night shift Sunday morning, don't we?
Yeah, we're 24 hours early.
You'll be laughing.
Still
Then.
technically coming off night shift, but
Technically still recovering.
yeah. All right, mate. Who are you going to be letting know about the podcast this week?
I'm going to be letting my followers on Twitter know because I've updated my profile.
Oh, have you
Which
really?
You'll be very happy about.
Oh, I love this. What is it?
It's just Tim Cardi AGS.
I love that. That's so good.
But I've
You
updated
fucking-
my profile. Updated my
That's
profile pic and everything.
So good. That is so good. All right. So if you do like our podcast, tell your friends, your family, and your Twitter followers, Tim Cardi AGS. Twitter.
Tim Cardi _ AGS.
There's an underscore in there. Nice.
Then I need to know how to change my handle.
I'm gone. I'm getting.
You're getting
Yeah.
a phone call. Come on, get
I
it.
am. Oh, it's a good friend of mine. I'll have to ring him back.
I don't know. I'll need to get you to tell me off air how to change my handle because my handle's still at 93 _ Cardi. So I need to.
Okay. We'll
Yeah,
work through that.
We'll do
work
that.
through
That's technical off air.
That is. That's later on. And Danny Webb is at Danny Webb AGS. So you can
Yes.
find us on those socials.
Yep.
All the other socials. I'm also AGS AU podcast on Twitter.
Yes.
AnyGivenSunday.au on Instagram. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Dabble is all Any Given Sunday Australia.
Yes.
Big week ahead for the boys, especially my lads. I've got Aaron Jones up there now, so go the Packers, mate. Go the Packers. I'll say go the Birds for Danny because he's not here. He's off jet setting. Are you even going to bother?
Let's cover that line, Raiders. Let's go.
Let's win us some multis, boys. Yeah, let's go.
Cover that line.
Yeah. We'll see you next week, big dog.
Very good. See you, fam.
Chef's kiss.